Hi, my name is Dr. Mike Cubbin, and I'd like to talk to you about a program that I've developed to help our English language learners speak English much more quickly and much more fluently than they have in the past. I've been a teacher for many years now, and as I've taught, I've noticed with our English language learners that their success is directly tied to their level of fluency. I've taught EFL and ESL in China. I've taught here in New York City, English language learners, ESL classes, and I see that there's a need for something else that's not out there. So I developed this program. The program is called Speak English with Me. Now, when we talk about speaking English and learning English, there's a lot of different schools of thought out there. One is immersion. Two is bilingual or hybrid approach. There is even a school of thought out there today that believes we can teach our students, our English language learners, in their native language and have them graduate. The downside to that is that once they get out, all our colleges teach in English. So no matter what program you are teaching with, it doesn't matter. You can use the Speak English with Me program to get your students up and running much faster. Let me explain how the program works. The manual itself gives rationale and background, all speeches, all scripting that you'll need for the program to take place. Then you have, each teacher will have a set of evaluation or oral assessment cards that they'll be able to use to assess the students as they start to rise in the ranks. Most important, though, is the button, the Speak English with Me button. Now, this button came about a couple of years back when we were sitting around and one of the teachers said, how do we get our ELLs to speak more English? I said, why don't we just put a button on their chest? And they said, what? I said, just put a button on that says Speak English with Me. You could have heard a pin drop in the room. But at that point, I thought, that's an idea. So I went back to my room the next day, cut out a circle of paper, wrote Speak English with Me on it, rolled up some masking tape, put it on my chest. The first teacher came into school early in the morning, and she looked at me. She said, did the principal see that? I said, I don't know. I think I'm here alone. By the end of the day, students were coming in. I must have had 50 buttons made. By the end of the week, all the students and all the teachers were wearing these paper buttons with masking tape on them. That showed me something. That showed me that our English language learners, no matter what they say, no matter how they act, they want to learn English. Everybody does. So we have the white button. The white button is for teachers and administrators. Green is for ninth graders. Now, this program has been developed for high school students, but we've had such a great response from elementary schools and middle schools that that seems to be where our audience is going. Ninth graders, though, wear the green. 10th graders, bronze. 11th, silver. You tell me, what color is 12th? That would be gold. These are the Olympic medal colors. Why do we have that? Because we want our students, we want our English language learners to be the best possible English speakers they can be. We want them to be Olympic English speakers. Okay, so let's go over the program. In the book, you have all the speeches, all the letters you'll need. Beginning of the year is one method of doing this. You could do it later in the year, but one method is to start in the beginning. We call that the overt method. Welcome back to school. Principal makes an announcement to the audience in their assembly that we will be beginning a program called Speak English with Me, designed to help all of you students become great Olympic English speakers. After the speech, after the assembly, students start to walk out. They are given buttons according to their grade, not according to their speaking level. That comes later. Ninth graders get the green, and then 10th, 11th, 12th, bronze, silver, and gold. Teachers all get the white. We also have this button. This is a very special button. It's called the heart button. The heart button is designed for those students who need a little bit extra help, and I'm going to show you how that works. A couple of weeks after the students are wearing the buttons, walking up and down the hall, this is the time when teachers should be looking around, and anybody, especially anybody with a green button, they should be engaging. I find that no matter what program you're using, it's all about engagement. The more a student is engaged in speaking English with you, the better a speaker they'll be. So, you've been talking to the students. Hi, how are you? Where are you going? Where's your class? Especially your green students. your other students as well, but especially the green. So now all the teachers have been given these packs of flashcards. You have one in each pack that is a question card, and you have 5 that are picture cards. So these picture cards and the question cards have something on one side and questions on the other. Student comes into your class who's wearing a green button, more than likely a 9th grader. They're wearing a green button, they come into your class. Now, their English level is probably fairly low. So even if they come in and they just point to the button, usually they'll come in with a friend, because many times some of our 9th graders will have a friend who speaks a little bit of English. What you're going to do is you're going to do an oral assessment, like a mini evaluation. Keep in mind that this is not to keep grades, it's not taking a test, we're not going to put this in their records. We just want them speaking more English with us and with each other. So they're going to come in and they have the green button on. So you are going to take a picture card and you're going to take a question card, and you are going to ask them about 3, 4, 5 questions off each card. Usually I like to start with the picture card first because it's a picture and everybody can relate to that. So we hold the card up to the student and we say, what is happening? They may not know anything. They might say boy. They might say bus. We provide you with a rubric for each level. Keep in mind that the rubric, we are not looking to find out content of their answer. I don't care if they know that it's a bus. I don't care if they know that's a boy. We are assessing English fluency. We are assessing how fluent they can speak. Okay, so they say 2 words, and you tell them if they only say 2 words, they really need to work harder. So what you'll do is you'll say, 1 week, come back. If you want, no matter what their language is, if you can say 2 words, I'm not a big one for speaking in native tongues, although I do speak a little Chinese, but you might say to them, say if they're a Spanish speaker, you could say practicas más. Have them go out, come back a week later. Now, when they come back, they are going to want to impress you. They're going to want to do more. I've seen it happen. Believe me, this works. And so they're going to come back, and so they are going to point to their button again, and they're going to ask you for whatever. They might say button, they might say exam, they might just point to the button. So you take another picture card and you say what is happening in the picture, and they might say monkey and boy. They might still only know some concrete nouns. They may know no sentence structure, no syntax. What you might want to do after this happens 2 or 3 times, you might want to then, here's where the heart button comes in. You might want to take a heart button and give them a heart button. Now what the heart button means is that that student needs help. That student needs to be engaged on a regular basis by every teacher in the school. So if you give a student a heart button, every teacher in the school knows that that student needs to be spoken to on a daily basis. When that student walks down the hallway, every teacher should be saying something to him or her. Hi, how are you? Good morning. Where are you going? Is it lunchtime? What time is it? What class are you in? Whose class are you in? Are you in my class? Any question you want to ask, but they have to be engaged, and they have to be engaged in English. It's critical that you do not use the native language, because this is a program developed to engage them in their new language. They are English language learners. Let's not forget that. Okay, so the student comes back 3, 4 times with the heart button. Eventually, you're going to be asking some questions, either off the question card or off the picture card, and they are going to get it. And once they start to get some sentence structure and they start to put things together, they may not be perfect, but you might say, congratulations. At this point, I'm going to take back the heart button. They hate to give back the heart button. And I'm going to take back the green button. They don't mind giving up the green button. But I'm going to give you a bronze, because now you've worked your way up to a bronze button. Once you have the bronze, now you're on the Olympic team, and you're really doing very well. So what's going to happen is, at this point, you're going to, when they come back in the next time, you're going to be asking bronze questions off the bronze question card or the picture card. Now, these questions are going to be a little more difficult than the green were. When we go all the way up to gold, you might find that those gold questions are also much more difficult than the green, the bronze, or the silver were. keep in mind that when we gave these buttons out, we gave them out according to grades. Now, you might have a student who's in the United States for only a few weeks, but they're in 12th grade. In that case, if you want to use one of the green cards or one of the bronze cards instead of the gold, feel free to do that. So say they have a gold button and they're in 12th grade. We never lower the level of the buttons. We never bring them backwards. Once they have a gold button, they are given that because they're in 12th grade. And we expect them, by the time they leave 12th grade, to be speaking on that level. Same goes with any other button. We do not expect them to get out of 9th grade still wearing a green button. Okay, so the gold questions are going to be a little more difficult. So here's a typical one. Picture card says, is the man who is leaving happy or sad? And explain. What happens next in this picture? So by the gold level, they're being asked higher thinking questions. Now keep in mind, we are not looking to find out whether the man is happy or sad or why he is leaving. We don't care. We are just listening for the fluency with which they're speaking. Now you are going to find that the students are very excited about this program. As they get better, you're going to see that their communication with you increases and their engagement with you in the hallways increases. So you're going to be speaking more, they're going to be speaking more. At this point, what I'd like to do is I'd like to have you think about your school. Can your school use a program like this where you need to have your ELLs more actively engaged in speaking English? Do you want your English language learners to learn English much more quickly and much more effectively and much more fluently? If so, drop us a line, give us a call, we'll get back to you. Speak English with me. Thank you.